When I tell you that President Biden's plan to forgive $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan debt per person is really pushing those loans and their repayment off on you and me, well, I tell you, it matters. Hello and welcome to another episode of Common Sense with Brian Christine. And I'm really happy and excited to talk about this subject today because it's a subject that I have personal experience with. You know, if there's one thing that Democrats are really good at, it's taking our money and using that money to buy votes and using that money to get people more dependent on big liberal government. And that's exactly what President Biden's student loan forgiveness program is. Joe plans to tax the hell out of hardworking men and women like you and me, and they're going to take those taxes from us, and they're going to pay off $10,000 of student loan debt for people who make less than $125,000 a year, or $20,000 of student loan debt if your loans are federal government loans like Pell Grants. But I think we need to see this for exactly what it is. Number one, it's simply a way for Biden to buy votes from younger Americans. Right now, his approval rating is in the toilet with younger Americans. Paying off part of their debt is simply a way to buy their votes. That's pretty obvious. It's the oldest page in the Democrats' playbook. Number two, it's another way to make Americans more dependent on big government. And we've seen that in spades over the last couple of years. We've seen pandemic money used to actually encourage people to stay home and not work. We've seen pandemic funds used to basically bribe and entice people to leave private health insurance and to move over into Medicaid or Obamacare. And I will tell you, it sounds great to say, well, I'm going to move over to Medicaid or Obamacare. That's free. And of course, nothing is really free. But once you get into those health care plans, which aren't very good at all, it's hard to get out. And then number three, this loan repayment or loan forgiveness plan is simply another way to try to convince younger Americans of the lie that free market and capitalism are not their friends. Oh yeah, you signed on the line to repay your loan, but they'll tell you it's unfair to expect you to do that. It's just another example of systemic unfairness. Capitalism, free market, conservatives are all stacked against you. Just let the government take care of you. It'll all be free. We'll pay off your loans. But really, it's not the government paying off those loans. It's you and me, the taxpayers. Because I will tell you, I believe that it is absolutely wrong and it's absolutely unfair to expect someone else to pay off your loans and pay off your debts. It's unfair to American taxpayers who never took out student loans, and now you're going to use their money and take money from them to pay off someone else's student loans. That doesn't make any sense. It's unfair to people like me who did take out loans. I took out a fair number of loans, really a lot of money to get through medical school, but I paid it all back. And so now you want me to pay off someone else's debt? I don't cotton to that. And how about those individuals like farmers? And I think about farmers a lot here in Alabama. Let's say they take out a loan to buy a piece of equipment for their farm. Who pays their loan back? No one. No one cares about them. But instead, we're going to pay off the loans of individuals who signed on the line but now want to welch and not pay that loan back. It's just not right. But the Democrats never seem to learn. They seem to always want to encourage people not to work, not to pay their debts, not to live up to the expectations and live up what they said they're going to do. But I believe there's actually another agenda at play here. The liberals want to make it easier and encourage people to go to college, the very colleges that the left has taken over. You get the students there and you indoctrinate them with a leftist, socialist, anti-American agenda. It's a beautiful plan from their standpoint. We get you to go to school, it's easier to go there, we pay off your debt, doesn't cost you anything, and we make you liberals. Perfect. Nobody who really understands the economy and understands inflation thinks that this is a good plan. It's going to increase the deficit, it's going to increase inflation, it's going to cost the country $300 to $500 billion are the projections. And that is going to come on the backs of tax-paying Americans like you and like me. It doesn't make sense. It's not good for the country. As conservatives, we have to recognize liberal big government's attack on our values. And in this case, the value that they're attacking is the integrity and the responsibility to do what we say we're going to do and to pay back our debts. When we recognize these attacks, we have to stand up and we have to, with a clear voice and a loud voice, call it out for what it is. And we have to be willing to resist the left every inch of the way. And to me, that's common sense. Thanks for watching today. Please share my website with your friends and your family. I'll see you next time on the next episode of Common Sense with Brian Christine. I'll see you then.